unedited. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited.
This is
Tell
what
the
we
truth and shame the devil.
and
I love being black.
I what?
I love being black.
And what?
I love being black.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Come on in, people. Come on in. Come on in. This is your boy Martin G, aka the Crime Chaser, live, uncut, unedited. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're gonna have a great show tonight, and I'm just waiting for a few more people to come on, and we're gonna get started. Make sure you share the video. We're here in the city of Chicago. We're here at the election season, and there's a lot going on, people, and our people need to know what's going on. I tell you, we got to tell the truth and shame the devil. We can't listen. We got a bunch of traders out here, people. They're selling us out for money. They don't care about the race of people. They selling us out for money for their self-interest. And people, if we're going to be a great people here in the city of Chicago, in the United States, that means we have to stick together. We have to move as a group, not as an individual, because as an individual, we can get destroyed, dismantled, and everything. We need to move as a group, people. Come on in, people. I'm going to acknowledge a few more people that come on in. I love being black, black love, black unity. Love it. Come on in, people. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. Come on in. You never know what you see on this live uncut era. You might see something and you might not see something. You might hear something. And that's what we do. We got a line. Let me recognize some people while many come in yesterday. Early Walker, live, uncut, unedited. I see you. I see you. All right, y'all. Make sure that the Early and Tia show is tomorrow between 4 and 5. Make sure you listen in. Listen in. Between 4 and 5 o'clock tomorrow, 106.3. Soul 106.3. Early Tia Walker show. So we want to acknowledge that. Charles, what's going on? Charles Isaac, what's going on, brother? I see you. 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 D Major, what's going on? I see you. William Dixie. All right, I see you. Nikia. That hold on. Okay, let me make sure I say that right. All right. Nika Ali. That's what I want to make sure I get it right, because y'all know I'm terrible with these names. Virginia Beasley. Lewis Ramsey. What's up, Lewis? I see you. 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 I see y'all. I see y'all. All right. All right, people. Come on in. Come on in. That's right. Larissa. What's up, Larissa? I see you. I see you. I see you. All right. All right. What's good? Deborah Singleton. What's going on? Charlie Biggs. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Vicky Lowe. I see you, Vicky. All right, Eric Bevlo. All right. Denise Blunt. I see you. I see you. Denise Joan Mitchell. How you doing? Thank you for stopping in. My brother Reginald Moore was out there with me on the front line at Color Nails. I mean, listen, we whooped them. We kicked butt out there. And the nail show design on 103rd, we kick butt out there as well. I tell you, boy, this is Showtime. John Showtime, what's that? Belize. I think I pronounced that right. All right. Raw Renee, what's up, Renee? Dr. Katrina Sanders, how you doing, Doc? Monique McCoy, what's up, Monique? Linda, what's up? Linda. Is that how you pronounce Thomas? How you doing? How you doing? Kimberly Green Pension. I see you. Love Washington. I see you. I see you. All right, Tiffany. I see you. I see you. Janice Collins. I see you. I see you. Ayanna Walker. What's up, Miss Walker? I see you. I see you. I see you. I love being black.
I love being black.
Don't you ever let nobody tell you that you don't love being black.
I love being black.
This is where we
tell the truth
and what?
And shame the devil.
That's what I'm talking about. Angie, what's up, Angie? Hamilton, I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. So y'all know that we're in a political season. Again, I want to say to my YouTube family, for those that follow me on YouTube, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, Martin G. Johnson, One Faith, One Fold. And if you're not following me on Facebook, Martin G. Johnson, I guarantee you, I say those things that you dare to say. I say those things that you think. So that's what's make me so different. All right, people. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Live, uncut, unedited. My goodness, I tell you. She said, I love being a midget. That's what I'm talking about. I love you, sister. One thing I can tell you, you got a beautiful spirit. I tell you, when I first met you, laid eyes on you, I didn't get a bad vibe or nothing. That's right, sister. I love being. You better, listen, you better go, girl. I ain't mad at you. You better go, girl. That's what I'm talking about. You better go, girl. You better go, girl. You better go. All right, people. We're in election season. We see a lot of fighting and arguing. We see a lot of confusion. A lot of us worried about public safety. Now, just early today, at the now y'all gonna get mad when we saying this now. At the St. Patrick's Day, and they was dying the water. 2 people got shot early this morning. Now, these is white folks. Now, I can't tell you if white folks did the shooting or if black folks did the shooting. I can't tell you. 2 people got shot. One person got grazed in the arm and one got shot in the right leg and took himself to self-transport himself to the hospital. So it's not just at the Taste of Chicago, Bud Billing Parade, Lollapalooza. Listen, it can happen anywhere, people. So get that out of your mind, because white folks out here ain't nothing going to happen. People, get that myth out of your mind. Again, I'm not proud that it happened today. Let's get that clear too, because should nobody be out there shooting, especially all them people out there. Come on now, people. And by the way, happy St. Patrick Day to all my Irish brothers and sisters. And you know, you got some black people, they're Irish too. Now you got to remember that now. Listen, you got to remember that now. All right, we don't want to discriminate. What's up, Felicia? I see you, I see you, I see you. All right, Sharice Rice. Right, I see you, I see you. Vicky Lowe. So again, if those just came in, 2 people got shot today, early today at the St. Patrick, right down the street from where they dyed the river, Green. Early this morning, 2 people got shot. One grazed and one got shot. One grazed in the arm and one got shot in the right leg. I believe that is. All right. Raw Renee, I see you. I see you. I see you. Kevin Kloof. So again, to all my Irish people, no matter if you're white or black or whatever nationality you claim, happy St. Patrick Day. I will do that. I don't discriminate against people. I love being, I see my sister. Here's a sister for T right here, y'all. I got up on there's a sister right here. Listen, this sister right here is the real deal. And when I tell you the real deal, when she help you, she ain't looking for nothing. She's not looking for anything. She's been doing this probably a long time, way before me. Not really recognized. She have helped gunshot victim families. That's just the real deal. I love her. Every time I see her, I'm embracing. So listen, ain't a thing that y'all could ever say about that sister bad. I'm going to defend her character till I die, because I know that's how she carry herself. And I love you, sister. I love you, sister Tequila. I love you. I love you. I love you. I promise you I do. Cleophas, what's going on? Come on. Somebody said that was Lori Stone out there shooting. No, don't say that, brother. Don't say that. Nisha Thomas Taylor. All right. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany. And listen, people, you listen. There are still some activists that's out here that's really doing the work that don't be acknowledged. And the only reason why a lot of you guys know about me because I go live all the time. It's not that I'm not doing the work or nothing like that. I'm doing the work, but some people don't go live. They just do the work. They hit the ground running. And, you know, I'm like this. The scripture said, give honor to whom honor is due. And that's what I want to do. And I acknowledge good work. You know, some people, they started off strong, but now they're on the wayside. They have quit. Money have become their God. Almighty dollar. They used to help folks. You used can reach and call them, but you can't reach them no more. The money have become their God. If it ain't no money in it, if the cameras are not there, they're not going to help you. They so important now. They don't answer their phone now. They don't answer their message and their email now. They have fallen along the wayside. They have been corrupted. They have been bought and sold out. My goodness, I'm telling you the truth, but it's the truth. It is the truth. It's the truth. When I tell you it's the truth, people, when you genuinely love people, you got to help them. And I always say, when you get down and out, you really can find out who really is your friend. When you get in that dark space, when you can't pray, when you so confused, you don't know what to do. But there's one that you can call on and going to come to your rescue and say, it's going to be all right. I'm right here with you. There's nothing like a friend that can hold your hand in a time of bereavement, in a time of trouble, in a time of confusion and misunderstanding. I tell you, there's only a few people like that, people we got out here. I tell you, boy, the Bible said the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, I'm gonna rephrase that a little bit. The lack of money, sometimes it make people do things that they normally wouldn't do. I tell you, that's the real talk, people. I'm telling the truth, people, because see, y'all see it. Y'all see it. But we just got, as a black people, we have to start calling these people out. We don't need nobody going against the code. Listen, let me tell you something. There are a lot of people that's watching this live right now are very successful. They have a home, a wife, and car, business. They educated. They have a career. But guess what, people? When you're going up against a system, you need a backing. You can't fight the injustice all by yourself. No one that's great, that's black, didn't do it by him or herself. No one. As popular as I am, people, guess what? If it wasn't for you sharing the videos, if it wasn't you talking about me word of mouth, I wouldn't be nobody. You wouldn't even know who I am, people. But it's not about Mark Johnson. It's about us as a body. Now, when I talk, people, listen to me. When I talk, I'm talking group. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about individual success. And I'm talking about group. What we need to do as a group. What we need to do as a group. We need to motivate ourselves. And let me say this too, while I'm on that subject. If you think that every black person that's going to get on board with all black people, that's not going to happen. And I always tell people, we don't need every black person to get on code. We just need enough of us to get some things done. We need enough of us. And you know, some people, they're not going to change. And some people are in love with the master. When the master hurt, they hurt. When the master's sick, they sick. When the master say be quiet, they be quiet. So people, we living in that dead time and age. They don't know how to stand for their race of people. Listen, people, we all can find fault in each other. I got faults. You got faults, people. But together, divided we fall, but united we stand, people. We have to make a stand. Why is it that every time black folks vote in this city, they always say it's a low voter turnout, but you never hear them talking about the white turnout. How was the white turnout, voter white turnout? Trust me, you never hear nothing about it. It's always black this, black on black crime, black people don't vote. Young, it's always that, people. You never hear the term white on white crime. You never hear it. Listen, can you imagine that every white person that's registered voter here in the city of Chicago, did every white person go to the poll and vote? I don't think so, but they'll never tell you that they had a voters turnout, shortest turnout. So people, get that myth out of your mind. Go get your teenager. Go get your grandmother. Go get your father and walk them and drive them and walk them to the poll and make sure they vote. Now, you don't have to vote for the person that I like. That's on you. That's your right to vote for whoever you want to vote for. But go vote, people. That's all I'm asking. Go vote. Young people, those of you that never voted before, guess what? Make this your first election. Be a part of this election. Be a part of history. We got a chance to make history, people. April the 4th, 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. He was shot and killed in Memphis, Tennessee. We have a time to make history. A young, black, thriving family man. Now, is he perfect? No, he's not perfect, people, but we got a chance to put him on the 5th floor, people. We're not trying to go back to the 60s and the 70s, not at all. And I'm concerned about public safety. I'm concerned about taxes. I'm concerned about the education. I'm concerned about mental health, as he is concerned too, people. We have to come together, people, get on code and make things happen in our community. And again, nobody's going to save black people but black people. I need to take some calls. Come on in, people. 872-297-6389 or 872-299-0808. This is live, uncut, unedited, people. Come on in, people. Let's talk. Let's talk about some election stuff and politics and stuff like that. You know, and I'm going to just say this too. You don't just have to vote Democrat or Republican and all that. Vote your choice. Vote for the person that you believe that will best serve this city. That's all I'm asking. I'm standing for Brandon Johnson. I'm not going to lie. I ain't going to sit up and hypocrite like I'm not. You know, some folks get on this live and pretend like they not for nobody. But when you turn their back, they pouring salt on another person, you know, campaign. So I'm not that type. I want to be straight up and down. And listen, I've been taught your word is all you got. If your word is no good, people, what good is you? Some folks got plenty of money. They can buy plenty of friends. But guess what? Their word is no good. Man, ain't nothing like what a man with a good word, integrity. That's I'm telling you, people. I tell you. And it's going to take more than one person to fix this city and to get it back operating. And listen, people, aren't you tired of seeing trash and vacant lots and vacant buildings and abandoned businesses on the south and the west side? Aren't you tired of looking at that, see all that coming outside and looking at you? Tired of people talking about loud, we. Aren't you tired of that in the gas station, people? It's a time for a change. Now, I know people going to buy loose cigarettes. I know they're going to buy their weed, their drugs, but you don't have to walk up to us and advertise what you selling, brother, sister. All right, people, let's come on and call. Come on and call. And let me tell you, Brandon Johnson and Paul Vallas together won't be able to stop crime. I just want to tell y'all, I'm going to be real honest with you. Listen, you can put legislation down, but you can't legislate a man heart. You can't legislate sin in a man's heart. It takes God to get sin out of a man's heart, people. It takes God, I tell you. Listen, here in the state of Illinois and even in Chicago, we have the stiffest gun laws in America. And guess what, people? We have shootings every day. Somebody gets shot just about every day here in the city of Chicago. So what does it tell you? Do we have to lock up everybody? It's not going to solve that, people. We have to listen. Study shows us that these areas that where a lot of shooting take place are people credit scores under 700. Under 700, people. And their unemployment, they got the highest unemployment. They got the lowest credit scores. They got the failing schools in these communities, and that's on the south and west side. I got a caller, people. I like to hear what this caller got to say. 2540, you're live, uncut, unedited. What you like to say, caller? Talk to me. Come on, caller.
Hello, hey, Margie, how you doing?
I'm glad to be living in the land of the living. I appreciate life. Go ahead.
That's good.
Yeah.
This Larissa, Margie.
What's going on? How you doing? You trying to sound all sexy, girl. I hear you. I'm trying to sound, hey, Martin.
Right.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you, Queen. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, that's why I said, Martin, I am, every election, I am a judge.
Okay.
On election day, I am actually a key and cell phone judge. So I go and pick up the package. I go over there to Lindblom Park. So that day, I also do early voting because I'm not in my precinct.
Okay.
So I'm in my ward, but different precinct. So what we found out, like,
okay,
when the
hold it right there.
attorney
Hold it right there,
comes-
sister. Hold it right there. Turn down your Facebook because I hear echo because you got to turn it down when you're talking to me.
No, I ain't got my Facebook.
Okay, you
on.
can take me off loud
on my
mic.
phone.
You can take me off speakerphone.
Okay, wait a minute.
Take me off speakerphone.
Here, I want to hear. Hello, could you hear me better?
Yeah, that's much better. Thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so like I said again, I am a judge every election, key and cell phone judge. And what I found out that on election day, it doesn't be a good turnout. Actually, at our precinct and ward, when the state's attorney them came out, they actually said we had like the highest number. And we only had like 100 and some voters come out to vote out of over 600-700 people in that precinct. And it's really sad.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Because I'm at,
Hold on. Let me
Uh-huh.
ask you a question. Now think about this. Now, did some of those people early vote? So you got to count that. You see, that thing, listen, people, we have to use a little logic here. Now, people early voting, so you can't expect a great large turnout on the day of election. So people might have voted already. So, I'm just throwing that out there. Now, I could be wrong. You are the expert because you do that. But I'm just saying,
and we have a list of the
Right.
early voters.
Okay,
So
okay.
no, that part too. We do have a listing of the early voters, and it's still not a good turnout.
Okay, now let me ask you a question.
That's why I could say that.
Okay. Now, what is considered a good turnout? That's what I want to ask a question. Do we expect that every registered voter in your precinct, they come out and vote? What is a good turnout? As you've been an election judge and all that, what is considered as a good turnout? That's what I want to know. I'm not trying to make you feel better than that. I just want to know. Yeah, go ahead.
But let me tell you something, Martin, too. What we have learned and ran into, it was people come in there stating that they want to vote, right? I go into the e-poll. It states that they voted already.
Uh-oh.
So then now the people are saying, no, I didn't vote. I didn't do early vote. I didn't do mail-in. I didn't do that. That's been a whole situation. So what are they doing? These people say they did not do vote by mail.
I heard that too. I heard that.
Yes. Is it that y'all are stating that these people doing vote by mail so they can't be able to vote?
Or they took
their vote.
Or they took their vote out of the mailbox and filled it out and sent it in. That could be the case too. Okay. Yeah, but
it just don't be right, and I don't be understanding because these people, they be very serious.
Mm-hmm.
I did not vote by mail, and
Wow.
I want to vote.
I heard that.
And it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy because I be believing them because
Well,
everybody
they ain't got no
don't
reason.
vote by mail.
They ain't got no reasons to lie. But I got hold on. I got a couple of more callers. All right, caller 0941. Where you calling from, caller? I think I know who this is. Go ahead, caller.
Marcus.
Marcus, I know it's you. You know.
Marcus.
Hey, go ahead, brother. Talk to us.
So, I used to be a poll watcher years ago.
Okay.
And being a poll watcher, you're sitting in the poll, you're seeing with your own eyes. And at a certain time of day, I don't know if the judge would agree with me, but at a certain time of day, if you don't see a certain amount of people, you consider that a low voter turnout in that particular ward. Now, as far as the city, well, you go around, being a poll watcher allowed me to go around and visit other precincts. And you would ask them, what's the count? They would tell you what the count. Some of the judges will tell you, oh, we ain't getting that many people in here. And when you see that it's quiet in a polling place, that's a dangerous thing. So that's a low turnout. Now, I can't speak for the white area because I've never worked in the white area to see if there's a low turnout amongst white folks. But they watch the black vote because the black vote is more important than the white vote,
And
as you can see.
why are we under scrutiny?
Always counting them.
Yeah. Hold it, Marcus, right there. I got Dr. Sanders. She's an election judge too. She can she's an election judge too. Come on, Dr. Sanders. I see you on here. Come on. She can tell y'all too. Stay with us, Marcus. I'm gonna go back to y'all. Stay with us. How you doing, Doc? Go ahead, Doc. So break this down to us, Doc. Break it down to us.
Yeah, well, she's right. What happens is that a lot when I register the people to come in, a lot of them have already voted by mail. Now, understand this process. If you vote by mail and send it back to the Board of Elections and your email is attached to that, they will let you know via email that your voting card, your ballot, has been received and has been processed. Now, if they're doing the vote by mail and they're not getting a response back, then the best thing to do is to contact election station downtown and let them know. Because when you can even drop your ballot off to us at the polls, and we will put it in the bag. It's a numbered bag and an envelope that says we can put it in there. And we can send it in and they'll get it and they'll count it in. So a lot of times, like here, they split out precincts 2 years ago. So it was 16, now it's 16, 17. So people that used to come over here, they have to go to another direction. So that's a whole big mess with splitting precincts. And everybody got to go to where they used to go. They can't go there no more. They got to go somewhere else. So the poll watchers, yeah, they do. They come in and they with their identification, let us know who they are, and they get the numbers. The issue is that a lot of people, we get a lot of provisionals that people that don't even live in the ward. They don't live in the precinct. They live on the west side. They work on the south side, and they say, well, I ain't feel like going over there. Well, it's not guaranteed to count. You can do it. We can't turn them away, but you're out of our precinct. So it's like a catch-22. But a lot of people that do vote because they don't want to stand in long lines, they will do it by mail. But if your email is attached to that, when they ask you, they give you an option. Do you want to vote by mail or not? That's an option. It's not a law. It's an option. So if they choose to vote by mail.
I got to ask you a question, Dr. Sanders, with the voting. Do you personally, in your time being an election judge, do you see a lot of young folks come in there and vote?
Yes, we've seen a large number of young people. 18, we've got like 5. Each time we have an election, it's about 5 18-year-olds up into their 30s. And yeah, they do. They come by. The older people, seniors, they'll come in there in a wheelchair, in the rollator walker. We can cater to them through the curb service, but a lot of young people are coming out. The only thing is that they don't know who they're really voting for. And that's the biggest problem that really is the topic, Martin, is that a lot of the people, the candidates that are running for various offices, whether it be a judge downtown at the Daly Center, the alderperson, committeemen, they don't know these people. They actually don't know them. We've had how many in Woodlawn, Martin? We had so many folks running for alderperson. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And nobody knew these people. So, judges that are on the ballot downtown at the Daly Center, one of my girlfriends is a criminal judge. And I see her name every time. And a lot of people don't know McCullough. And they're like, who is that? Who is that? And a lot of the people don't want to finish the ballot. They only want to vote for who they feel they know and leave the rest of it empty.
Yeah.
Am I right, sister?
Yeah.
Now,
But we
can they
don't
do
have
that?
a large turnout with young people.
Can they
We
do
don't
that?
have that.
They can't.
If you
Larissa.
do, they come in.
No,
with
they
their
can't.
camera.
They can't do that?
You don't
They
have
can't.
large.
Okay.
No, they have to complete it, because what happens when you insert the ballot, that machine is going to kick it right back out incomplete. And sometimes people will overvote, meaning they didn't vote for two people in the same.
So what do you do
So
for
a
that?
lot of them,
Do you cancel that and they
We
re-vote
have to
again?
spoil
Or
it.
oh,
we have to
No,
spoil it. This is
override.
called a spoil vote.
They want to override.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
It's spoiled. We have to count again. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sometimes say that
Well,
they
we
only
get ready.
want to just come in and just vote for one person. That's how some of them, when they do come in to vote, I'm only here to vote for one person. So then, quite
That's it.
naturally, once you put it in to insert it in, yes, it comes back out. So then, once you ask them, do they want to continue with their ballot, then they be like, no, I just want, so then you have to override it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And
Let me.
we have to number all those
So when you
overrides
override it,
or
do the
votes.
votes still count?
It still counts
When-
for that one particular person who they wanted to vote for. Yes, but it doesn't count against the others that's
Because
on
I
ballot.
voted like that because those judges, in my opinion, they don't do enough to put themselves out in the community so that people will know who they are. There's so many judges on the bench that you don't know who they are. And I've seen nothing but, I know that they're white
Correct.
judges by their last name. And the black
Correct.
ones are hard.
But you know,
But you know what, too, Martin?
Yeah.
Martin, I almost was at the point that I wanted to just give it up, like as being a judge too, because I talked to Dwayne, I talked the pastor at the church where I'm a judge at. It's so much disrespect towards judges. I kind of like when we work in a police station, but because people want to pull what they pull. And it's like the way I was disrespected this last one, I said, you know what? This ain't even working. And then for a whole guy to disrespect me the way he did, and he came in November and gave problems, with the coordinator. And then came back and he tested me. He knew he wasn't supposed to be there to vote. He knew that from last time. It's not his precinct. And he called me all type of disrespectful words.
yeah, you gotta have 911 on
Yes.
speed dial.
Oh yeah, the judges. One thing I don't allow, and I think I shared this with you, was at the call downtown on one of the judges. Some of the judges won't even come there to help. And this lady was up in age, and she was very nasty. She was talking loud, and she was throwing off on people. And it got to the point. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I told her after the people started, the line started going down. I told her, let's have a discussion. We was over here in Chicago Park District. I said, let's go outside. And then when we got outside, I told her, I said, I don't disrespect older people. I said, but I have never seen one like you. You are constantly criticizing. You're not sitting down. You're not even bringing the people in. All you doing is hee-haw, ya-ya, and all of that, while we are sitting here trying to find these people, because a lot of times you have these people that have the same name, different addresses. And we have to be thorough in registering the people. It's simple when you come in to sign your information. We look at your form that you sign in with, and then we go right ahead, pull you on through. This woman got on my last nerve. I had to have a Holy Ghost that day because I told the workers, she about to make me catch the case.
Mm-hmm.
We got too many disrespectful judges towards each other. And why a lot of polls? Why are you leaving? The polls close at 7. You shouldn't be at no 10 o'clock at night counting. It don't take much to disconnect those machines. The only one that takes a drastic time would be the e-poll and the ballots, because we have to count all the ballots. The Republican, the Democrat, all of the ballots must be counted. We have to sit there and subtract the amount from the pack that we get. That's how that goes. So when we do that, we're sitting there having to do that. Then we have to reset and send a signal down to downtown so we can reset everything. It's not easy dealing with people, with the public.
Right.
It's not.
Well, let me just say something.
I ran into that. We was real short on judges. Well, when it came down to it, we only had 3 judges. People came and waited till the last minute and didn't want to come as being a judge or whatever. So then, and it's really crazy because just because I'm a key and cell phone judge, I tell them we all equal. I'm not over you all. I'm not. And then they was expecting, because I'm a key and cell phone judge, that I need to do all the work. I say, that's not how it goes. I have to really let them know. Like, and then you got some people come in and the judges then they expect not to really do nothing. And that don't be fair.
Well, let me say
That
something.
and I like doing what I do.
Let me say something, ladies and gents.
Public service.
Let me say something.
But it's not fair.
Okay,
Like I said again, it's not fair for the voters to come in and disrespect. And I really almost just gave it up.
Hold it.
A man.
Hold it, sister.
Disrespect me.
Hold it, sister. Hold it. Y'all know when you deal with the public, things going to happen. Not make no excuse for bad behavior.
Yeah.
But do me a favor. Make sure you guys be on point. If you guys see something, say something at these particular things. This voting right now is very critical. You know, we can't, as you guys being election judges and stuff like that, you can't tell people who to vote for and all that, but make sure things are done properly. You know, we want to get people.
We can't tell people.
I know that.
Even when they come into the
I already know that. I know that.
Out, we have to let them know.
Listen.
Some of them get mad because we have to let them know you cannot come into the voting place and have your literature out. You can take it out when you go into your little space for the vote, but you cannot have it visible where us as being the judges can see that it's out.
Okay.
We never tell anyone, who to vote for. That's their right.
Right. That's right.
Like it's my right when I go to early voting at Bloom Park. I never does that. It's just so much disrespect.
You will have senior.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have to get disrespected like that by a man that's supposed to be a king, and he came and he disrespected me like
sister,
that in a church.
But sister,
in the church.
It don't make no. Listen, sister, people don't care. I mean, they just don't care. Everybody ain't got Jesus.
But you know what? I try to keep my cool though, Marty.
Yeah.
I tried to. Listen. I told him my mouth slick too.
Yeah.
And then what was crazy, because he got
listen
out
sister,
by the elderly father.
Sister.
And then he came back in.
Okay. Listen to this.
We finished to vote there no way.
We finna change the
Yes.
conversation, people. Now we done with vote. We talked about vote. Now we done with that. I need to go on to something else. I appreciate you, sisters. Y'all can stay on the panel and all that, but we finna change it. We finna change gears just a little bit. So we done talking about voting.
Okay, Mark.
What you do. So I appreciate all y'all wisdom and insight. Continue to do a good job. If y'all have a problem on these things, call 911. Don't be in there arguing with nobody. People got pistols and guns and stuff. Don't you listen. Call 911. I tell you. All right, now we want to talk about our race of people when it comes to voting. I'm always hearing negative things about our people, you know. And I want to ask Dr. Sanders, and I want to Dr. Sanders first, Marcus, then Larissa. I want to ask you guys, what percentage is a good percentage of Black people voting? That's what I want to know. Okay, just say like you have 400,000. All right, now out of that 400,000, what are we shooting for? Are we shooting 30% or 50%? What is a acceptable amount of number? I'll start with you, Dr. Sanders. That's what I want to know.
Anything over 50%, you know, that will put us where we need to be, you know, when it comes to voting. What I wanted to say when you're talking about voting, Martin, I think in this time with the people that like we have, I'm just using them as an example, Brandon Johnson and Paul Vallas.
Mm-hmm.
We need those who want to be an elected official to start working towards that consistently. Because a lot of people that don't live here in Chicago don't know anything about what goes on here. You know, we can take it all the way back to Mayor and say it daily. But and when you're talking about the voting, how many of us have voted? We're looking way over 50%.
Okay.
You know, higher numbers. That would give us an opportunity to have the win-win.
Okay.
Because now in Woodlawn, you got white people now over here.
Mm-hmm.
And they come and they vote in our community.
But let me just say this, Dr. Sanders.
And it's a lot of them.
Hold it, Dr. Sanders. Hold it. This is what I'm talking about. For some reason, we've always given white folks credit that they vote. We vote too. I never know nobody that pull it. I know, but I'm saying I never know nobody pull up their numbers. You know, I never hear about nobody.
Right.
Well, the white people that come out, they head low. You don't hear it's always black. Why? That's what I'm saying. Nobody. We need to keep a number on them as well.
I'm just.
Go ahead. I know.
We should. You know, which, you know, of course, if you look on the meter, you know, on the television meter, you would see that in certain areas, okay, counties like Kane County, Will County, look how many whites are out there. Lake County, you know, you got McHenry, LaSalle County. It's a lot of white folks. And they will tell you how many percent Republicans, how many percent Democrats, how many percent Green, or nobody's undecided. But they're already in our community right now. And I'm telling you, they are putting a trail on it. It bothers me. Don't think it doesn't. Because when they come into our polling area, I'm like, it's where the black folks at.
Right.
I'm serious.
Right.
Because that disturbs me.
Right. Hold it right there.
Lake County,
hold
Lake
it.
County and all them, they
Sister.
don't have no.
Sister, I'm gonna call on you.
With the voting in the city.
Yeah, hold on. I got to go to the next call. I got to give him some time. Marcus, the same question to you. I don't know if you heard the question. Basically, the question is, what is an acceptable number of the black vote? What number we're looking for? Because I'm always hearing that it's a low voter turnout. It's always why? Go ahead, Marcus. Talk to me.
Well, I would say over 60%.
Okay, that would be good, acceptable. Okay.
I would say over 60%. We need a higher turnout. Not saying that black people don't come out and vote,
right.
But what it is a lot of it is the media. They're already projecting how the election is going to turn out.
Uh-huh.
And as I said before, I was a poll watcher. And when you see the numbers low in certain precincts of the city that should be high, that was high during Harold Washington era, but is low now, they go by that, and that kind of discouraged other people from coming out voting, and that's their whole tactic with the media. So I'm not saying, me personally, I'm not saying that black people are not coming out, but some of black people aren't coming out like they should because they've been lied to and they don't feel motivated to vote and they don't feel that they vote count. And sometimes it's a weather factor. They use the weather. It's cold out. Senior citizens don't come out. Young people, like somebody said, do come out and vote, but they don't get the press that they deserve. They're overlooked, and it's a whole lot of other young people that would vote but don't know who to vote for, and a lot of them standing on the street corners. I led 20 people into a polling place, and the judge discouraged one kid, and he said, "Marcus, this is why I don't effing vote." The dude telling him, "I learned how to vote when I was in kindergarten," and I told the judge, "You're a damn liar, because if you went to Chicago public schools, they didn't teach you that." This kid come in here, show him how to work the machine. I talked him off the street to come in there and vote. And this was during the time Daley was running for mayor, but I told him, vote for who you want to vote for. If I were you, I wouldn't vote for Daley.
Okay. All right. Well, hold it right there, Marcus. I gotta go to my next sister. Come on, sister 2540. Come on. Come on, 2540. Then I got two new callers too after you. Come on, my dear sister. 2540. No, it ain't you, but I'm gonna let you go then. All right, come on, sister. Go ahead. You're the new caller. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, new caller.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for having me. Real briefly, when it comes down to young people and voting, I'm hearing on the panel, I'm hearing different things. They don't get recognized. I'm just hearing so many different things. Okay. I'm out there at the polls every election. I am out there at the polls every election. Not just in Woodlawn, but in Augusta, Georgia, Columbus, Georgia, Orange County, Florida, and Phoenix City, Alabama. Also Montgomery, Alabama. I am at the polls. I'm working the election. I do not see young people coming out to vote. I do not. We can come up with as many excuses as we want to. We can make it sound as good as we want to. We can fault and blame whoever we want to. I know I may ruffle some feathers, but hey, I don't know. But I do not see young people coming out to vote. I just don't. Okay? So the data is also saying that the young people are not coming out to vote. So if I don't see the young people, the data is saying they don't see the young people.
Well, here in Chicago,
what is there to talk about?
Let me say something too, Queen. Here in Chicago now, historically, young people don't come out for like mayor elections, alderman elections, but they do vote for president election. So the data do show that.
Presidential.
Yeah. It shows that. Okay. It shows that.
And I find that to be the truth.
Okay.
I find that to be the truth, Martin. I come from the same hood you come from. I come from the same hood you come from, so I've seen pretty much the same thing you have seen. Okay, so when it comes down, is it okay if I speak about Brandon and Paul?
Go ahead.
Okay, so when it comes down to Brandon and when it comes down to Paul, we already know, and I may ruffle some feathers, but we already know that a lot of people are pushing Brandon simply because of his skin color.
Okay.
That's known. That's a known fact. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that. And when it comes down to Paul, I worked for Chicago Public Schools, so I've had encounters with Paul. I'm not going to say he's my favorite person. I'm not going to say
it don't make no difference. You said it don't.
But
right. Go ahead, sister. Don't
So,
make no
you know,
difference.
So I say that to say, we got this side dragging Paul because of his beliefs, what he's saying. He think he should put more police out, and then we got this side. We gonna bash Brandon because he's young. Paul said they gonna try to use the fact that he's young against him. Now, see, here's what I see. Here's what I see the problem is. You know, when we of skin color, when we run for these offices, we got 7, 8 people the same exact color running for the same exact office.
Mhm.
I know
Where's
where
the
you're
math
going.
in that?
I know where you're going with this one.
You know?
Mm.
You know? Why? Let me tell you something, Martin. I'm going to tell you something from the bottom of my heart. Ain't nobody since the 1970s felt pain from Woodlawn like I have.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. Okay? So the fact that we got all these outsiders coming in to lead our community, I'm not understanding why we can't lead our own community. I feel like they come at from the outside and they benefiting from our pain. Because everybody I know knows got family members who've been killed on 63rd.
Mm-hmm.
So we got all these people benefiting from our pain. I feel some type of way. Jeanette Taylor is benefiting from my pain. I'm not benefiting from my pain. And then we got all these people, the same color, that's running for the same exact office. I'm not understanding the motives here.
Now,
I'm just not understanding.
you ain't got to understand the motive. You see the motive. You know, people are being planted in these races to get the woman out. I didn't vote for Lori, but I did predict that she would be a one-term mayor. And personally, if I might say this public, but I thought purposely, I thought that Lori would be a stronger candidate than Brandon Johnson for running for mayor at this. And I'm just saying, even though I'm supporting Brandon Johnson, that's what I thought. Not saying that Brandon gonna lose anything like that, but I felt, and I said it publicly, that all those black candidates should have been in a room together and worked some out amongst each other. That's what I felt. I don't care if that meeting took 2 weeks. If they had to meet every day for 30 minutes and get, come on now, what do you want, sis? What do you want, bro? How are we gonna do? Listen, we want to keep this seat. We want to keep this seat. Now, listen, this is a dangerous point where we at now. And we know once a white man gets that seat, they been there for 2 terms, 20 years. It's already been proven. It's so much hate and no unity among us. And we're not on code one another. We're not on code. This time, the white people was on code when it came to the mayoral election. Now, a lot of people don't like Paul Valley. A lot of whites don't like him. But guess what? They want to see a white face on that 5th floor. And they'll go against what they believe just to put him in it. And they vote because they white too. So the black people ain't the only one vote because a person black. I'm telling you. They vote because a person's white. They do it too. But tell us not to do it. They do it. And listen, they had 400 some years to prove to us. And 400 some years, they still have not proven to us that they're going to treat us right and do right by us. They haven't proven that to us yet. They have shown us. I got to keep it 100, sister. I got to keep it 100.
I went to Olive Harvey school. I went to Olive Harvey over on 103rd or whatever. And I read a book at Olive Harvey called The Left Hand of God. It was written by a former police officer. And he was an officer during the father's term, Mr. Daley.
Mm-hmm.
And this book, I couldn't even breathe reading it. Because this book talked about so many people who went overboard at Navy Pier. Talked about all the violence that went on in this family.
Yeah.
So how dare you bash our children when you're the one that's violent?
Well, they call that.
How dare you?
A deflection. Yeah. But hold it, sister. Hold it right there. Hold it right there, sister. I got to go to the next call. I gave you enough airtime. Okay, 4857, new caller. Come on, caller. Come on, caller.
Peace
Peace, Brother Martin.
Hey, Doc. That's Sister Erica. What's going on, sister? I call her Doc. There's a vocal sister right here. Come on, Erica. Let us have it. Let us have it, Erica, because Erica finna let us have it, y'all. I already know. I got Erica. Let me put on my seatbelt. Go ahead.
Well, you said what percentage do we think should come out? Correct.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna be real.
Keep it real, Erica.
I'm
Keep it
going
real.
back to the contract.
Okay.
I don't know no other way. So I'm going back to the contract with Black Chicago. Neither Paul Vallis nor Brandon Johnson signed the contract with Black Chicago. But they have all of these plans for every other group. You know, Brandon just rolled out his plan for immigrants, migrants, and refugees. But I've yet to hear him say he has a plan for Black people. Vallis keep talking about he's pro-choice and pro this and pro that. You know, I'm saying, is anybody up there pro-Black or is everybody anti-Black? So with that being said, this is just me personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not telling nobody else to follow my lead, but I am going to stand on what we started with. I told you in the beginning, if they don't sign this contract, they will not be getting my vote, because I am tired of voting just to vote. I'm tired of them coming before us, asking us for our votes and giving us nothing in return. And as the sister was saying earlier, the youth don't come out to vote. You know why? Because they don't see a reason to vote. They don't see nothing around them changing. Their parents been voting, their grandparents been voting and voting and voting and voting since we fought to get the right to vote. And our condition has really not changed. So that is really what we're looking at right now.
Mm-hmm.
All our communities are being gentrified. You know what I mean? They're pushing us out. I have not seen one of them yet say, what can they do to help Black people? They want to help the LGBT community. Brandon showed up the other night at the DuSable Museum with rainbow colored socks on and kept his legs crossed all night so people can see it. So he was sending subliminal messages to them. You know, he rolled out the plan for the immigrants. You know, Paul Vallis just throwing money all around Chicago. You know, just breaking people in with money. I'm just being real about that part. You know, so this is just a cycle that keeps repeating itself. And that is why we came out with that contract, so Black people can, for once, get something tangible. We always say, what's in it for Black people? But we brought something forward and asked our people to stand with us on it, and all they did was ripped us apart about it. Everybody spoke negative about it. But now they're seeing the reason for the contract, now that they up here talking about everybody else except Black people. So that would be my answer, brother.
Okay. All right. Next call is 6112. 6112 caller. Go ahead. You live, uncut, unedited. I think I know who that is.
Hey, brother Mark. How everybody doing?
How you doing, Doc?
I'm all right. I want to piggyback on this lady who was just speaking on the behalf
Sister
of the
Erica.
Black contract for Chicago.
Yeah.
Erica. And I have been one of the ones who have been hearing about that contract, and I totally agree with it from a perspective of how I was told from a friend of mine, Pastor Brady. And the thing that to answer the question first on what you was asking about, what percentage do we see would be acceptable of turning out and bringing about a change, and I will say that it's over that 50% mark. For the simple fact, not for the simple fact, but inside that 50% mark, it's very important for young folks to vote. And the thing about it, we are not going to get young folks to vote if young folks are not being engaged like ordinary, everyday life, just because. You know what I'm saying? They're not being educated at all. It's always been told, I'm not going to repeat in the details of how we know they're not, but we see that they're not. So, like right now, if people just really pay attention, what hurts me is that when we look at these gatekeepers, these ones that do have access to sit in a room and a meeting with these candidates, I ask a question in my mind when they are speaking for young people or when they are speaking for the disinvested communities, what young people and what disinvested communities are they speaking for? And if they are speaking for it, you know what I'm saying, what are they saying about it? Because if you're not speaking according to the agenda that we can see some actual change within 3 days, within 7 days, within a month, then you wasn't speaking for us. You know, and there's no need to continue to talk about it. Tomorrow, and speaking on the contract for Black Chicago, I was told, and I actually got to host it in a certain way myself, but I was told that Paul Vallis would be at the center of Inglewood tomorrow around 4:30. And even for those that represent contract for Black Chicago, I believe that someone should show up and right there put him on the mark. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I told Pastor Brady. I said, every time you see Vallis or you see Johnson, just like they're out there campaigning on that trail, the contract for Black Chicago should be wherever they pop up, campaigning on that trail by number. And I truly believe in that contract because I read it over and seen it myself. But in order to fight like something like that, you got to campaign. It's time to. One thing that I can say about these young people is when they want something, they gonna go get it if they want it. And right now, they don't want to vote. They don't care about politics. That's not what we are caring about. We are caring about inside of our pockets and what we fund on our own, going to make something happen. Whether we got young folks out there, young folks out there, you know what I'm saying, chasing the lives. And at the same time, it's not gonna. We just don't see it happening in City Hall. Don't care who is up in there. We don't see it. We have to organize somehow as a unified organization, churches. One of the things that keep my mind, and I stayed up all night last night thinking about how in the world can Tony Prewinkle and all of them get 200 pastors inside of one room when 365 days, 52 Sundays out of the year that they preaching, everybody's in their separate corners. You know what I'm saying? We coming together for the wrong reason. It's no agenda if it's not the agenda for an everyday reason when there is no mayor going on, when there is no campaign. Every single two big ones, and I ain't gonna name them. But when you seen them out there this past year, I don't care how many fans they grew inside of social media or whatever they was doing. But you only seen them out there because the mayor election was getting ready to pop up. And you seen them out there stronger and stronger. And now I want to know what's going to happen. How you going to see them out there after this? Because ain't nobody in the runoff but two people. I want to see them out there the same way that they was out there when this mayor campaign was on its way. Tired for bull crap, all that fake stuff talking about I did this, I did that. You ain't did nothing because there is no change in our community. It's in your pocket. And anytime you sit up there doing public service or working for public service, that you have no money. And somehow you end up with some money that comes from the community, whether it's businesses, organizations, or individuals. That money should be put back in the community so it can seem that something is being established, not running for office. And then another question I got: what happens to the money when it's not all the way spent, but you don't continue to run when you lose the vote? What happens to the money then? Do it stay in your pocket?
Right. Hold it right there. Hold it right there, Reb. I'm gonna let somebody else. I got another new caller. Hold it right there. I'll let you express. Okay. All right. 217. Come on, caller. 217.
Hey, I agree with mostly everything the young man said about the young people. You have to start early on getting them engaged in order for them to have their mindset on voting. You just can't wait till it's around election time to step out like, hey, okay, come on, I love the young people. I'm not saying they don't, but I'm just saying you can't step out then and want to try to, bond with them because it's going to look like, okay, only because you're running, you're out here. You get what I mean? So you have to start on this and keep it up way ahead of time. Just like when President Obama was running. They had shirts on, get out and vote on BET, everything, showing the youth, the rappers, everything. And he won the election. You have to start early on. And then I got one last thing to say. I don't mean to shift the topic. I love this show, Martin. Yeah, and I'm on here, and I noticed that we constantly have a troll every night. And you know who it is. I'm going to go ahead and say her name. Tiffany Wilson. She's constantly in here. It's like her job, she sets out to keep the division among us. I know you block other people. What is it that she cannot be blocked? Why is it? You know what
listen, let me just say something.
You can press the block button on this crazy woman.
No, let me just say this. I know a lot of people don't like Tiffany, but she have said some things and she straightened it out. And like I told her, she can't come on here no more and talk. I asked her not to call black women names. I asked her that. So far, so good. And I told her she can't call in anonymous. So I understand you called out. I got on her too. Trust me. I got on her though.
Okay.
So I said,
this is
right.
Monique.
I know you are Monique.
Monique.
I know, but right. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Monique.
All right. All right. Okay. Now, go ahead, Dr. Sanders. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders.
This is the thing. Like I said, I've seen with my own eyes a lot of young people that do come to the poll where I am at, and I've seen a lot of them. Now, just like I raised sand about what happened to how the teacher, the substitute teacher, broke into the system and allowed my child, along with other students, to do a report on Chief Keef. I made the noise. I went to YouTube. When I went to YouTube and I could not get through to Principal Miller, that used to be there, they called me. See, I make noise. I don't talk. I confront people. I'm a confrontational person when it comes down to facts. If you have questions for any candidate, I don't care who it is after this election, go to where they're at. Stop what you're doing. I made noise to get an attention about what our school system was doing, why they excused things. I made the noise. Chicago Maroon, Chicago Tribune, Leah Hope came to my house. So people, if you got a beef or questions, go to the meetings. Go to the meetings. It's not going to cost you nothing. That's how you do it. Because when we say, well, they're not going to do it, no. Stop and go and let your voices be heard. I did. And I didn't care. CPS was unaware of a lot of stuff. But guess what? That substitute teacher was taken off the premises. I made the noise. That's what you do. When Dr. Martin Luther King, when Malcolm X, all of them, when they went, they didn't just talk about it on the phone. They showed bodily presence. You have the right to do that. It's not against the law. Wherever they are,
yeah,
put it up on the screen.
Can I say something?
Hold on, Dr. Sanders. Marcus, he want to respond to something you said. Go ahead, Marcus.
I mean, you say that as if it's easy, but you can't just go to a mayoral debate like so many people would like to lash out and say to the candidates. First of all, why are you running from? No, I'm just saying. People should be. What they need to do with these debates is have an open floor forum with the people sitting in the audience. Those are the people that are affected by this election more so than the questionnaires that they get. So you should be able to go to that debate and ask. They need to have an open floor debate where people ask them questions, not some questions that's on the cards, right? But people ask them questions like, why aren't you speaking on the black community? No, you couldn't have did that at DuSable because every time somebody raised their voice, the mediator was literally telling them to shut up or get out. It needs to be an open floor where you won't have to be worried about being thrown out, where you can say, Brandon, I don't hear you saying nothing about your agenda for black people. You're talking more about the immigrants. Are you going to replace us? Are we in a Connect Four game where they got us both ways? People are talking about, well, we should not vote. We should just sit this one out. We got to vote for somebody. Otherwise, we're going to get somebody in there that's going to be a Mayor Daley. And that white person is going to stay in office because white folks come out and they stick together. They may not like Paul Vallis. A lot of them didn't like Mayor Daley, but they kept Daley in office with the help of some black people who kept endorsing him. They kept him in office for 20-something years. That's why he stayed in there. And anybody that ran up against him didn't get the votes that they needed to beat him. What we got to do is we got to have open floor forum where we can question these people. Like, you're not saying nothing about black people.
This is where you locate.
Can I respond? Can I give a response, Mom?
Yeah, okay, Erica. Go ahead, real briefly, then I got to go back to Dr. Sanders. Real briefly. Go ahead, Erica.
Okay, I should have, because I know a lot of people don't know, but we did have our own forum where we presented the contract with Black Chicago, and it was over 100 of the heaviest hitters on the black side of Chicago that was in that room. And Martin was there, he recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
We invited all of those candidates, and I've been chasing them down, okay? We've been emailing those contracts to him. Brandon, I seen him personally at Bethel, and I put it in his hand personally. I've had yet to hear anything from him. Now, this is the thing as well. Black people need to stand with us behind the contract. See, if we were unified behind the contract, they wouldn't be able to ignore it. See, that's the problem. I can't keep chasing them all around Chicago. We need other people to come on board to help us chase them down. Okay? And then it's 2 forums that's about to come up now. They will be confronted with it. They can't run forever. They will be confronted with it. And I want to know, I'm looking so forward to hearing their response. Because I expect Paul Vallis to be the way he is. The devil can't be reformed. We already know that. But Brandon, on the other hand, you would think that he would step forth and say, okay, well, let me look at the contract. Even if you don't agree with everything on it, can we sit down and talk about it? He has yet to do that. So, I mean, as a black man, you're basically telling us that you have no interest in doing anything for your people. You're just concerned about the LGBT, the immigrants and Hispanics and whatever. But never, he ain't put a fist in the air. I ain't seen him with no Afro pick, nothing. But he come up with some rainbow fox.
So can I say this to you and to the black community?
Yes.
We need to shut down their debates if they don't want to hear what we really got to say. We need to shut down their debates and tell them we don't want to hear what y'all got to say. Because you're not saying nothing that's going to help us as a people. You keep talking about the LGBT, you keep talking about the immigrants, but you're leaving black Americans who built this city out of the equation. So since you're not discussing that, you're not looking at the contract that's been presented to you, get the hell out of our community with this bullshit. We don't want to hear your debate. Go debate that in the white neighborhood. We got to come at them like that. Raise hell. Shut down their debate. That's the only way.
I'm with you, Marcus.
All right,
I'm with you, Marcus. You need to get your number.
Okay, I got to let Dr. Sanders talk.
Please, Martin.
Okay, I got to let I got to go back to Dr. Sanders because they cut her off. So I just went on loud. Then you can go next, my dear sister. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders.
Okay.
I want to give everybody fair chance. I'll go to you next, sister. Go ahead, Doc.
So with all that said and done, what is your strategy? What is your strategy? You want him to get the message. You got a lot of media circuits that you can do it at. If you can't go to all the, I'm not saying that every time they go somewhere. Let me be clear, because I don't want you to misunderstand that you misunderstood what I said. If you want him to get the message, then find a location where that's closest to you, or get on social media and let your voice be heard. It's simple. You got the freedom of speech. You have freedom of the press. If you can't get to the locations, because a lot of them, like Marcus said, they got this already, planned out what they're gonna say. But you need to make it known, because he's on social media. Trust me, they're on Instagram, they're on Snapchat, they're on Facebook, they're on YouTube. Make it known, and the target areas that a lot of these campaign managers and whatnot. I know one of the guys that actually is close to him. I would definitely send him a text and shoot him a text about the contract. I'll do that for you because he works directly closely with him. Now, when I do that, you got to come behind me, because one thing I don't like to be is made out of a jackass. I promise you that. Because once I send that to him, preferably he'll get it to him. I'll be at the conference next week. Hopefully he'll show up. If he shows up, then I will head him off and let him know. Listen, we need to have a forum about the contract. People are trying to talk to you. I will do that, but you cannot not come behind me and support that when I do it. But you've got social media. He's got people that are out there watching, I guarantee you. And they will tell him. Because not saying anything to him and hating him and wanting him to die because you can't reach him, that's not answering the question. There's a way to do it. There's a way to cook chicken more than one way. So I will send a message over to my contact and tell them, listen, I need you to come narrow down, give me a call. And then you all come behind it and you all do it. That way you got something to go with. You got something to go with. But at the end of the day, you got social media. And you can put it out there. I did it for my interest of my son, who didn't ask me to because he was in 5th grade. And I didn't care, because I'm not afraid of no authority but God. I made my voice heard. And I got what I wanted. Mary Mitchell heard me. She put it in the paper. See, I know how to do it. If you feel that he's not listening to you, call Mary Mitchell. Sometimes she will put it out there. That's what she does. Because if you feel strongly about it, and you, as you should, let her know. Send her an email. I got an email. Let her know. Listen, we've been trying to contact him, and it seems like we're not getting anywhere. Can you please talk to Mary Mitchell in Chicago? She's Black. She's one of us. Because you're going to have opinions, you're going to have thoughts, and have feelings. Okay. Why not use our resources? We got it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, next caller. That young lady, go ahead. You want to respond?
Me. Okay. I love the idea of social media, but Martin, I'm expecting the next time I hear from you, which I'm assuming will be tomorrow or Monday, but the next time I hear from you, we need to be discussing what you just said. If they're not going to hear us, we're not going to hear them.
Okay.
I'm ready. I'm trained to go. My cousin Erica, she is feeling however she is feeling about that contract. And if she wants them to sign that contract, I say, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So the next time we hear from you, please, can we figure out how we're not going to hear them unless they hear this contract. Unless they hear this contract, we're not hearing nothing they got to say.
Yeah. Because we got
that's just the bottom line.
But let me just say this too. We have to vote regardless. I mean, if they don't sign it or not, which I probably doubt that they'll sign it, but we got to try. I don't want to be negative, but we got to try. Because let me ask y'all a question now. I don't know. I'm just asking. Is it illegal for them to sign that? Or, that's what I want to know too.
No, it's not. Mark.
It's not. Okay. I just want to know.
It's not, Mark.
Okay. I'm just asking.
If you recall, Alderman Sawyer, which he was running for mayor, and he is an attorney, he signed that contract. He said he read through it thoroughly. And the thing about the contract, it will be easy for Brandon to implement it. You know why? Because whenever a new administration comes in, they bring their own team. You understand what I'm saying? It's easy for him to implement this. So it's no excuse. It's not illegal for him to sign it. He's just avoiding it. And as to what the sister said, I don't know if she heard me. I put the contract in Brandon's hand myself. So I should not have to keep running him down. It ain't I'm not that type. No, I'm not getting ready to beg him. I'm just going to expose him. And that's what I'm doing. I'm all over social media. I've been on Martin's show plenty of times, other shows plenty of times. So you just don't know me. But I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I've already hunted them down. That's the end of that part. So the ball is in his court. The ball at Vallis was the first candidate that I seen over at Tyrone Muhammad's forum early in the game. Okay, he canceled our forum 15 minutes before it started because he thought that he was going to get us in a back room and make a deal the way he's making deals all around Chicago, throwing money all around Chicago. I'm not that type person. My integrity is going to stay in check, in place, intact. Amen. So, you know what I mean? I'm doing what I'm supposed to do on my part. But as I said, instead of people always attacking and, come in and help. And I appreciate you for extending that olive branch and, reaching for us saying that you would help. But Brandon has the contract. And we've been emailing it to him every day just to follow up. And let me tell you what he did. He responded. They responded. And they sent a donation letter. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
So they saying they need some money.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
They need some money.
Yeah.
You hear me? They don't want to talk about what we need. They want some money.
Well,
wow.
You know what?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay.
You know what time it is with me, family.
Right.
This looks like Connect folks.
This like what, Marcus?
That's my cousin.
Yeah. Right.
This looks like Connect folks.
Oh,
It's
okay.
almost like they.
Hey, cousin.
Right. Okay. Rep. Go ahead, Rep. I ain't heard from you. 6112. Go ahead, Rep.
Yeah. I'm pretty much listening there, and this is complicated, and it's complicated because since I've been back in Chicago, this is the second campaign. I have never seen Black people so divided as I see. I thought we had it together, and it seems like everybody's in this group, everybody's in this group, everybody's in this group. And you got many different groups that's not together, but they're separated behind each candidate. And it's kind of complicated because it seems like, and I don't want to ruffle no feathers, none, but I'm seeing the matter of color. If you ain't this color, you should be in, and here you are our own color. We don't believe in you, so we can't be in. And it's just like, that's why I believe that outside of the politics, if we just learn to just, like we say it all the time that, hey, let's get together, let's do this together, let's talk about this together. But it's like, it's more saying than occurring of action and really like doing it. I have been told over and over again, that's how I know about the Black contract, because she has been putting and doing her best and energy and probably crying about this contract and those strong points that's behind her, the people that's behind her, really been trying to get this out there. And it's just going to take, like the same as we saying, it's going to take 60% of the vote. It's going to take 60, 70% of Black folks to get behind that contract. And that contract is just a stepping stool along with allowing us to get the resources that we can for the organization. Like I say, the gatekeepers are like we're fighting against the wrong powers. You know what I'm saying? If you can get the gatekeepers out the way, which has the access through the gate, and replace them with gatekeepers that's going to give you access through the gate, then those that sit up there and sit on the throne have no other choice but to hear you. But we can't blame it on the throne alone. The throne is the throne. But at the same time, you have a gatekeeper all over the city in many different communities, from aldermen to organizational leaders to street leaders to pastor leaders, and they all playing the game for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to start exposing and expressing about our feelings.
Let me say something. Let me just say something, Reb. Listen, people. When you put your money where your mouth is, you show your level of support for your candidate. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we know in Chicago it takes money to run these campaigns, people. You know, Black Chicago, beautiful organization. They wrote I've seen the contract. I've read it. It's beautiful, strictly for Black people. But we have to let Brandon know this is what we can do for you. We have 1,000 people in this organization. Not only we can get work volunteer for free, we could donate money. See, that's what I think Brandon Camp want to hear. And that's why they sent that donation letter. See, we can't just demand something and we ain't giving nothing, people. Politicians are for sale. Politicians only cater to two type of people, the one who they may most fear and the one who's bankrolling them. Them the ones that got their eye, their attention. I'm telling y'all, people, that's just how it work. It's politics. You know, no disrespect to Paul Vallis, no disrespect to Brandon, but we have to say, hey, man, we got 100 volunteers. If you sign this, you know, not only we asking you to sign this and help us out with this list and help out, we got 100 volunteers for your campaign. If we can't put no money in that man campaign, let's volunteer for it. This is what we'll do for Black Chicago contract. We have to bring something to the table outside of that contract, tangible, to make them even look at it, to take us serious. I just got to tell the truth, and I'm not trying to throw a monkey wrench in the thing, and that's what we have to do, people. We just can't run up to a candidate and give him this, man, and we gotta, hey, listen, Brandon, if you sign this contract, we got 100 volunteers that's gonna put down signs, that's gonna make calls for you, go knock on doors and all that. That's how we got to know that we're a movement. But if we just got a handful of people, like Sister Erica says, 2 or 3 of them, and just hand them that, and they keep emailing them, man, they want money. They got to find out, okay, we never heard of Black Chicago, so how can they help us? You know, it is what it is, people. Yeah, go ahead. You can respond. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so you said that we have to bring something to the table.
I said that's how politics work. You know, we can't just Erica. That's how it works. They're not looking.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But my point is, he just came out with a whole plan for immigrants, migrants, and refugees. What are they bringing to the table for him, for them to get his attention?
And guess what? They are.
I'm just trying to.
You're right. And listen.
Let me finish. Is it that he fears them, or is it that what did you say? Fear or money?
Bankroll.
Because they not bringing no money. They not bringing no money in. They coming to get our tax dollars.
Yeah.
So what is the point with that? With him rolling out a whole plan for them?
Yeah.
They coming into the country illegally. We are tax-paying people. Our money is being used to keep everything in Chicago afloat. We are the ones that get taxed the most. So we already got money in the game. Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to understand, how does that work?
Yeah. Well, I just told you.
How does that work?
I'm just trying to answer with them. They already got paid to get behind and make a plan for them. With them refugees that came over there in that school, that's an $80 million plan. So they already got money for the people. Trust me, if they saying that we're gonna make a plan and we got a constituent plan out there for any group other than the Black group, they got money. Somebody, even if it's not coming from that particular name of that group, somebody got some money or some tax dollars is gonna be in the long run as an investment coming back off of that body, that name, or that group. So with us, we first of all, we can't come up with no money because we have no unity. Just imagine if these strong Black people who do have money, the ones that's not living in the inner city, but the ones that we can get behind us, that's living out there in the suburbs in them houses, that's getting paid, like I say, that run for the office, that's getting paid to kick back dollars. Like I say, it's the gatekeepers, because the gatekeepers get the money too. So I mean, like
It is the greed.
It's a reason why we don't have the money, but we can still come up with this Black Chicago contract, get behind and get real bodies, and sit up there and like Mark's saying, we got some dollars. I mean, if you got all these power heads that showed up 100 and something, everybody that showed up at that forum should have paid some dues. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing Mark's saying. Politics is to be bought, and the power comes with the dollar. The power comes with the voice, and it's gonna overtake those that's in control now. That's call themselves speaking for us. Yeah. Black Chicago just started speaking for us.
And Sister Erica,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
hold on. Let me
this point.
Eric,
Now,
let me say this, Erica, before you say something. I guarantee you, if we had $10,000 for Brandon Jones, I'm just talking about as Black Chicago, and 100 volunteers or 50 volunteers, he probably will come and have a meeting with us if it ain't number for a half an hour or an hour. I guarantee you that. I'm just speaking. Now, I don't speak for his camp, but I guarantee, but that's how it works. Go ahead, Sister Erica. Go ahead, Sister Erica. Go ahead, Sister Erica. I know you
I don't know if that sound like extortion to me.
No, it's not extortion. No, it's not, Sister Erica.
But just hear me out. I'm just saying, I know that's how they operate. Right. I know that's what they used to doing, but it sounds like extortion to me. Now, this is the last point I'm gonna make. What Brother Reb just said, concerning the money, right? With them getting the federal money for the migrants. At the end of the day, that federal money is our tax dollars. So we still have money in the game. So that's what I keep trying to tell y'all. Stop giving them excuses. We pay more taxes than anybody. The billionaires and millionaires do not pay taxes. They put the taxes on us. Paul Vallis has property owners right now paying off that teacher's pension fund because he made the disastrous decision to delay those payments for 10 years when he was CEO of CPS. So right now, this is the reason why people are losing their homes, because these taxes keep going up. They just went up again like 70%. People cannot afford to keep it and keep their homes because of what Vallis did. And the thing about us, we have amnesia. We always forget about what these people did in the past. We always forget. Vallis is not good for Chicago, period. Honestly, if he signed the contract, I still wouldn't give him my vote. He messed Chicago up. He forced our children out of schools. He closed down all these schools in the Black community, replaced them with those charter schools. Young Black boys could not even go to school. They couldn't cross gang lines. And because they dropped out of school, their parents kicked them out on the street. They was out there, now they committing crimes and all types of stuff. So that decision that he made has caused plenty of damage to Black people. 14,000 Black teachers were fired from all of those schools that got closed down when he implemented those charter schools. Do you think they were going to send those Black teachers over to the white community and let them teach their children? Heck no. No, but they can bring every other group into the Black community to teach our children. Something is wrong with this picture, and people need to stop giving them excuses. It's no excuse. Black people are owed reparations. They have a long overdue debt with us. Don't ask me for no money. Well, we looking for the money today. They're using our tax dollars to free everybody else, to free Ukraine, to free the immigrants. But whenever it comes to us asking them for reparations, what they say to us, oh, we need to do a study on it, or we don't have the money for it right now. No. See, we got to get to the point where we're going to say, like y'all keep saying on this call, if you don't want to hear what we have to say, we don't want to hear a damn thing you got to say. See, that's how this going. You can't keep using our money against us to free everyone else, and we're on the back burners. See, y'all got to stop making excuses for these people.
But
y'all giving them too many out.
Sister Erica, They got to know that Chicago's. You know how I got Brandon Johnson on my show? I sent Brandon Johnson my numbers for 28 days, for 14 days, and 7 days. That's how he came on my show. I showed him, hey, I got people that listen to my show. And that's what I'm saying. We could, these politics, they play politics. You got to bring something to the table with some of these guys. They you know, some of these guys still playing politics. And I'm saying, even if we ain't got no money, say, Brandon, if you come and talk to us, you know, for half an hour, we got 100 volunteers. We got to put some on the table. And like you said, we already got invested because we're our taxpayers and all that. But he got to know that Black Chicago is a powerful movement. He got to know that because, you know, they're doing their research. And like last night, I was on a Zoom call last night. It was some heavy hitters on there. But Brandon, he didn't really impress them, though. I was on there where people can drop him 20,000, 10,000, 40,000, but he didn't say nothing. He didn't grab because he was on there for like maybe 35 minutes, and they was listening. They was listening, but they wanted to hear something. You know, when people make their investment, they got people looking for a return, if I may say that. Return is okay. Now, if I invest 10,000, 20,000, I got to know that you're gonna beef up on the police, or you're gonna beef up. One of the concerns was that why some people that got contracts with the city of Chicago have a 100-year contract. What are you gonna do about that? Not to never let that happen again. Because some of these they got generation wealth through the city of Chicago because they got a contract 99 years. You know, that's a long time to have a contract with somebody. That's generational wealth. Every one of us listen to the sound of my voice, we'll probably be dead in the next 99 years right now. Yeah. Seriously. But these are the things we have to, we gotta put some pressure on Brandon to get his attention. We're a power. We're not to be ignored and all that. That's all I'm saying. That's how I got him on the show. I don't know Brandon Johnson personally, but I showed him the numbers. I said, this is what come to my show. This is what's on my page. I showed him the numbers. So they put me on. Said, well, you can get him for a half an hour. And that's what I did. That's how I got him on there. And maybe we could do the same thing for Black Chicago and say, hey, listen, brother, we got volunteers and everything, man. Just come and talk to us for half an hour. You got to put a little something. That's what we got to do, Sister Erica. I'm just saying, the way we're doing it right now, Erica, is not working. He's not giving us no attention. So we got to try something else to get him in a room with us, Black Chicago, and talk. I don't care if it's for a half an hour, and tell him and put our demands on it. That's all. It's just an idea. I'm not knocking what we're doing because I like the contract because it's totally legit. It's totally legit because everybody else, the alphabet community getting what they want, the migrants, everybody like Sister Erica said, we have to say what we want, you know. Now, I heard Brandon say that he's going to invest in the youth. I know you're talking about the Black youth, but he got to make it clear, make it plain. So it's a lot of stuff that we got to do, people. We got to do, you know. I understand.
He can't make plain with two clouds of him.
Huh?
You know, one thing I realize that you can't make plain what you don't know.
Right.
So, my lady asked me earlier. She said, "Don't Brandon Johnson deal with the same effect that our community and our hood deal with?" I was like, depending on what part of Austin that he lives in, you got to get his exact address. He may be on the good part of Austin, like if you go on South Shore and then you go further down by Kingston and stuff, you got them mansions. They don't get the heat like you get when you come back down towards 71st and Jeffrey. You know what I'm saying? They might hear the gunshots, but they ain't got to worry about the gunshots coming or the bullets coming through their window. So it depends on the part of where do he live. You know what I'm saying? And he can sit up there and tell us all the time, well, we deal with the same, or where I deal with the same effect.
Well,
I'm not gonna believe that he dealt.
Well, let me just tell you this, bro. Let me just tell you this. Austin is terrible. It's bad with crime. It's one of the highest crime areas, communities. It is. It's up there with Inglewood. If it's not passed, it's right up there. So nobody gets a break in Austin. Just like in Inglewood, every block is not bad in Inglewood. Every block is not bad in Inglewood though. You got some little quiet little blocks that don't nothing happen on certain blocks. You know, so he
do he live on that block?
Right. I don't know, regardless, but he live in the hood.
Ask him, like, do he feel what we feel?
I've heard him. No, let me just tell you. Let me tell you. I've heard him say that he heard gunshots right out in a debate, right outside his door. I've heard him say that right outside his house.
Yeah, he said it.
So I'm not, I've heard him say that because I'm following. See, I'm not the type just to be talking, but I'm following. I'm watching. I'm watching people. I don't listen. One thing about me.
I heard him say it too.
Yeah, one thing about me. I just don't follow two people so quick. I watch them. I give them the benefit of the doubt. Right? Hey, that's what we got to do, people.
Martin.
Yeah. Go ahead.
They say the same zone.
Go ahead, Dr. Sanders. Go ahead.
I want to interject something right quick.
Right.
Christy Pope, if there's an issue that you have, I need you to speak up. This is not two-sided show. Martin asked those who want to call in to give their opinion or their viewpoint. No one is arguing here. No one is disrespecting anyone. You don't know me. I guarantee you, Christy Pope, we're having a discussion. If you would like to get in on the discussion, please feel free to call 872-297-6389 and the other number. Do not. One thing I don't like is ignorance. You don't want that. If you got an issue or you want something to say, pick up your phone and do like the rest of us have done. This is not Dr. Katrina Sanders and Martin Johnson show. Quit that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I find out who you are, then I'm going to put you out there. But I'm going to do it in a way that you're going to think about that. Don't do that. We're having a topic of discussion among us. And be nice. Don't be nasty. I'm sorry, Martin.
Okay. All right.
To a wet devil.
Yeah.
He talked to a wet devil.
Listen, I mean, seriously, people, and that's why I opened up the show. And everybody on this show know that I publicly endorse Brandon Johnson. But I'm open to hear. And I always say, I know he have flaws. I know that. And we need to help sharpen his brother up. Hey, brother, we need you to do this. We need you to do that. But let us bring something in our hand. Let's get some leverage, something. We know Brandon Johnson need more money. We know he needs some volunteers. So let's bring one of the two. Say, Brandon, we ain't got no money to give you, but we got 50 volunteers that can call on phone, pass out some literature and all that. And I guarantee you that will get the attention of his camp. And that's what we have to do, people. I'm trying to teach us how to play this politic game. It's all the game, people. Y'all know it.
I did my part.
You know what bothers me, Brother Johnson?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bothers me? And I'm gonna push it back to the youth because there's so much power in that. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those unborn babies. And then once they born, like before LeBron came into the world, they ain't know he was gonna be a king, but look at him now. So it's like that's what the youth is today, and the power of the vote of the youth in it, and getting involved with the youth is unborn. And what bothers me, and I gotta say it because I sit back and I watch. I'm not a politician, but I watch, and I speak for my community, me being a pastor. But I'm gonna say this: I hate how you have one with a platform of the youth that says I know the youth, that says I know the streets, that says that I'm out there, and decided not to get behind the black man, whether he didn't agree with everything or not. I hate that because if you got 10,000 votes and if you got the youth, then you should sit up there and continue to mobilize yourself and then say, okay, it didn't work my way. Let me get behind this. But I hate that because the power in the vote of the youth. And he has the power to birth that. No, I don't want to say his name, but we know who we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He has the power to birth that. And right now, the youth are not being birthed. It was a question that was asked to him on your show.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you, if you can, are you able to educate, open up that center and educate our young folks into this political realm? Because you're there. You know the numbers, you know the percentage, you know the ins and outs of it. Now, at the same time, like to not get behind and be childish, because that's all it is. to be challenged and say, well, I'm not gonna, not even for that brother, then that shows that, you know what I'm saying, that's why you're not ready to be male.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurts because the youth is still gonna sit up here and not care, not be engaged. When you got the power, I've done seen you inside of protests. I done walk with you on the front line of protests with power players like Kanye West. People are doing stuff out here just to get a name for themselves. But now you got power. Children are going to start running for mayor and running for alderman right now, or in the future, because they're influenced by you. But what makes sense for them to run when they get there, when they don't know how to run, when they're not educated and understanding how to take Chicago into the grip of their hand and make sure that their tomorrow is better. It's going to take our children to take us to that next level. Everybody that make it to the promised land, those that made it to the promised land had to know that there was a God that was going to see them in that promised land. You may not be perfect in the promised land, but for you to hold the youth from having access to gaining power and getting them educated to get their vote into the promised land, that's a problem to me.
Well,
that's just one of the issues with the youth.
Let me just say this,
Everybody
brother.
else in their own
Brother, let me just say this, brother. Evidently, the poll numbers showed that he couldn't pull what he thought he can pull. That's it. It showed it, period, bro. So, you know, we can't get mad. You know, listen, if the young people see a young man in his 20s running for mayor, first person on the ballot, and they don't come out, if that ain't enough to motivate them, it's either something about him, he didn't, and I told him publicly, if you can motivate the young people, he couldn't do it. Couldn't do it because the number shows it. Couldn't do it. He couldn't do it.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
I mean, this Marcus.
Yeah, I know it. Go ahead, Marcus.
I appreciate the title, but
yeah.
But you know what? No disrespect to J Mall. We keep putting one person in front of Chicago's youth. There are other youth leaders that can motivate the youth. Even though he ran for mayor, there are other youth leaders who know politics just as good as J Mall know politics. But that also has to start in the house. I was a young person at one time. I learned politics at home. I learned politics at home. I learned how to vote. I learned about the candidates. I ain't just boasting and bragging about Harold Washington because he was black. I learned about Harold Washington. I knew the difference between Jane Byrne and Harold Washington. I knew that Jane Byrne wasn't for black people, and black people put her in office after the death of Daley. I mean, at first it was Blannick, and then came her. So Blannick wasn't for black people. I knew the history of Chicago politics. It has to start at home. We got to quit putting these leaders because these leaders can be bought. Politics is about money. You just said it. Politics is about money. These political people, these activists, they can be bought. The worst thing we could do is tell our youth to follow this person because he's young. That person might be going in a different direction, might even have a whole different agenda, just using this whole political thing for something entirely different. Now, I'm not saying that whatchamacallit is doing that, but I'm saying you can't just put all your hope in these leaders.
Well, the numbers proved that he couldn't motivate the young people. It proved that. It proved it.
Right, because of his attitude.
Yeah, it proved it.
I'm going to go ahead on and say because of his attitude. Because of his attitude. Because of his attitude and because of his past actions. And then he decided to run for mayor, but he forgot about his past actions.
You know, so.
And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And, no, but I'm speaking truth. Because if you look at the numbers, you got the youngest man ever that been on the ballot running for the mayor of the city of Chicago, Jamal Green. I'll say his name. I don't care about nobody think. And if he couldn't motivate the young people to come out, that should have been a plus right there. Now, I'm not saying that young people don't look up to him. I'm not saying that. But the numbers don't reflect him. We sitting in the polls. The young people didn't show out. That 18 to 35, they didn't show up. According to the polls, that's what I'm told. I'm going by what I was told. Now, if
2%, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just 2%, that's low. That's lower than low.
Right, but I'm just telling y'all people. So, Reb, I understand what you're saying, Reb. I understand what you're saying. So that 1 or 2% ain't gonna hurt nothing. You know what I'm saying? We need somebody that can mobilize the young people to get out here and vote. That's it, Rev. That's what we need. And he's not the person. The numbers show it. It shows it.
Yep, I agree.
I just got, I listen, I'm not trying to drag the man name in the dirt, but I'm going by what the numbers say. Now, if you got a problem with that, go call him. Because I ain't scared of no man. Yeah.
You can't argue with the whole.
Yeah.
I can't argue with it, you know, but you know, that all was set up, you know what I'm saying?
Rev, now, my sister T just put up there, now Chance would be a person that could motivate the young people. Chance the Rapper. Now, I've seen Chance motivate a lot of young people. Now, can you agree with me on that, Marcus?
Yeah, oh yeah. And I tell you another
Chance could do it.
I tell you another, I ain't being funny.
Right.
But if Lil Durk ran for mayor of Chicago, he would be mayor. He'd be the runoff. I'm not being funny, I'm being real. If he comes and step into politics, people will vote for him. Young and old people will vote for him. But he would get the young vote. He'll motivate them. You know, young people ain't stupid. They don't like arrogant people either. They don't like people who think they know everything either. They're not stupid. Our young black people are not stupid.
So, I mean, that's it, Red. We ain't trying to rip the man apart, but this is politics, brother. And we got to play the game. We got to learn how to play the game, people, with these people, man. And I'm telling you.
Which one of these? I totally agree. The reason why I said that because I said that because I already knew that the turnout was going to be what it was. And the reason why is because I have personally had conversations. I was personally called by him to help with the petition and things. But I sat back and I watched, and I decided to sit back and don't because the cockiness and certain things that I've seen, like early attacks in the campaign. I mean, if you look at the campaign trails and the forums that's been going on, there has been attacks inside of the debates, but it hasn't been the way that it was starting out early with young brother Green. You know what I'm saying? And every time he did it, I felt that it hurted him. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're attacking more than you getting the message out there trying to say this is the reason why you the best candidate, you know what I'm saying? It don't mean anything because it's just noise on the stage. But like I say, I never seen, like, every time I seen his bus, it was on his way to the Loop, or it was on his way to the North Side, or I mean, like it would have been cool to see you engaged inside the disinvested community, because there's still homeowners in the disinvested community. Yeah, if I had to go inside the apartment buildings and ring the doorbell and say, "Hey, I'm Jamal Green, just trying to put," you know what I'm saying? It's ways that you could have did it to get out there, and it just didn't work. So that's what I'm upset with it. And behind you not doing what you should have did to bash and say, "Well, I'm not getting behind this brother," that bothers me, because he could have had more numbers if he did what we had told him. Because we on the streets too. Brother Johnson, you know, me and you, we support him. You know what I'm saying? It's things that I still supported him on, even after I heard or seen some things in my own face dealing with the community. You know what I'm saying? You got to really know these communities, know the ordinary people, know the lady that's sitting up there working a 12-hour job can still barely pay her rent. Know the fathers, you know what I'm saying, that's on the corners. You know what I'm saying, hanging out with their homies. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna engage somewhat in this mayor election, whether it's by voting or by just paying attention and say, "Oh, I think that person gonna get in. I think that person gonna." But everybody's paying attention. It's just that the way that the results and the turnout be, it kind of fails us, because that's all people doing is talking. But we got to get engaged, man. And I think for the next 4 years, I just believe that we understand that it's just not certain time for certain people. And we just got to engage.
Let me just say this too. Let me just say this. I got that text too about ballots going to be at your church tomorrow. Not your church, but the center where your church is at. But let me just say this. What Vallis is doing, he's passing out money, hiring people to put out signs and all that. So a lot of people that's, chasing money, they're thinking individual. They're not thinking about group. That's what they're doing. And trust me, I tell you, like T.L. Barra, take the money and still vote for whoever you want to vote for, you know? So I'm just telling y'all people, this is the time. If we don't get that fifth floor, we in trouble. And trust me, the white people have proven to us, not only to us, but to the Indians, they had over 4,000 treaties with the Indians. And they broke all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Sanders, I can prove it to you. I know a big time preacher. He's a real holiness preacher, and he's white. And he said that a lot of them evangelists came and missionaries, Christian missionaries, and talked to the Indians and everything on Sunday. And the next day, Monday, they was killing them, setting them up to get killed. So I mean, I was surprised to hear a white brother come out and say that. But he said it. So people, we dealing with a 400-year enemy. And listen, I'm not saying that every white person is racist. No, I'm not saying that. I could never say that. But I'm going to tell you, the track record is not good. So we got to watch. We got to watch, people. Listen, Willie Wilson made a statement, well, black people had their chance. No, we ain't had nearly as chances as the white people. One man was in there for 20 years. Both father and son in there. One probably was in there 30 and the other 20. Come on, people. Let's keep it 100. If you love Master, go on, stay over there with Master. I ain't mad at you. Let us know who you're standing with. But your word means nothing.
The one that had the opportunity we had.
Yeah, listen. You told us. Go ahead, Mark. Let me just say this, Mark, and I'll let you talk. You told us, Willie Wilson, if you listen to this, you told us all the 51,000 people that voted for you, you're going to let them decide who you're going to endorse. And your people decided for you, Brandon Johnson, and you went another route. Instead of you saying man enough, so you know what? I respect all of y'all, but my personal choice, I like Brandon. You guys can vote for whoever you want to vote. We would have had more respect for you, even though I didn't vote for you. We would have had more respect for you. But to leave those preachers that supported you and you supported them hanging like that hurt. That hurts. Now you making an article talking about people attacking you. You set yourself up to be attacked. People believed in you, Dr. Willie Wilson. They believed in you. You do great things in the community. Whether if you're doing it for votes or not, it's still a good deed. The scripture said, don't let your good be evil spoken of, brother.
Evil spoken.
And I'm not going to disrespect you like Jamal Green did. I'm not going to do that. But you was dead wrong. Your word is no good, brother. All we got is our word. You got plenty of money. You don't have to do this, but I guarantee you, you made a backdoor deal with Paul Vallis to put you in some type of political situation. I guarantee you. And if he win and we find out you ain't one of them slots, we know you sold the black community out for your own self-gain. And you told us in your own words that you didn't want nothing. You straight. You want to help the people. You want to make sure that all 77 communities, that money be equally divided in contracts. That's what you said in your word. Because I follow you, Dr. Wilson. I still respect you, but you're wrong. Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead, Marcus.
I see them different. I see them different.
Go ahead. Say this. This is live on cut.
Listen to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm speaking. He's going to come into the community and he's going to have a giveaway. You announced it on WVON.
Yeah.
Now, what the black people in the community need to do is challenge him. It said, you love us, but you endorse the op, you endorse an enemy of us, but you want to come in here and pamper us with your money? It don't work like that. I'm not saying don't take the money and don't take the free gas, but we got to start thinking logically. These people are going to continue, our own people are going to continue to run game on us and come into our community and pamper us with money that ain't going to last forever. It ain't going to benefit us for a lifetime. We have got to run people like that out of the community. Like we would run a pedophile out of the community, we got to run these traitors out of our community, right back to their slave master.
Say that, brother. Say that.
I want to take it to some higher knowledge about Willie real quick. And I don't know how many people pay attention. I'm not gonna say they don't know. Everybody know that Willie's a millionaire, but I don't know how many people pay attention to Willie, his money, and the power that his money has set him on high to be. And it didn't set him on how to be a man that owns his own and of himself. You gotta understand, there's a lot of progressive characters, and that's behind and around Willie. They was around Willie and supporting Willie through his campaign. You know what I'm saying? And they knew that Willie was popular to get those numbers, but they also knew that they weren't going to give Willie that seat. You know what I'm saying? So now is to take Willie's votes, because you got some loyal people that are going to forever be loyal to him. Probably about a good 20% of his voters, so that's 51,000. He probably lost because, like Brother Johnson said, he done went, you know what I'm saying, and didn't keep the promise that he did. You know what I'm saying? But Willie is around some power players in the city. As a matter of fact, the ones that have the power to do exactly what they did and knock Lightfoot out of the box. You understand? Lightfoot was the same one that told these devils that her balls are bigger than theirs. You know what I'm saying? These are the same friends of Willie Wilson.
But let me just say this, brother. Let me say
so,
this. Let me just say this. The only reason why Lori Lightfoot didn't get it is because they split the vote. That's all what it was. That's all what it was. They split the vote. And I didn't vote for her. They split the vote.
And they had a strategic plan on how to split the vote.
Right.
I mean, one thing that I know, all them people, listen, we always say, it was 6 black voters against her.
Right.
Everybody that sat up there and ran the campaign trail, believe it or not, received some money, maybe on the back end from running. Like I say, what happens to the money that they so happen to raise if they sit up there and didn't make it to the runoff? The only one who didn't probably get no money to do it because he got his own money in the $6 million that he put in is Willie. So he played a certain role the way he played a role, I believe. I just believe that he have friends that's around him that he just, because trust me, he did not listen to none of his voters when it came to who he should sit up there and do.
He didn't. So
the ones that he probably listened to, they going behind ballots.
Listen. Let me just say this. It was about Willie. It was never about the people. He showed you. He showed us. It wasn't about the people. It was about what Willie wanted. That's what it was about. He showed us. Listen, brother.
The Midwest.
Listen. You can't walk around here and say, you listen, you can't be a drunkard and live a life of a drunk and die sober. He showed us by his fruits. He showed us. As a man thinking in his heart, so is he. Yeah. And so is he. Yeah. Where your treasure lie, that's where your heart is. And that's where his heart was.
Hell yeah.
That's it, brother. You can. Yeah, go ahead, sister. Hold on, brother. Come on, Sister Erica. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sister Erica.
I just wanted to say something about what you said about Lori, that the reason why she didn't get in is because they split up the vote.
Right.
Now that split up the vote, that has been something they've been doing forever. They put plants in there to do that.
Right.
But in this case, people were very dissatisfied with Lori.
Yes, they were.
And that's why she was forced out. Lori, she told too many lies and she made too many enemies. See, when Lori allowed that, when Anjanette Young was violated, when all of those police officers raided her house and she stood in her front room for 40 minutes naked, and Lori did not give that the attention that it deserves as her supposedly being a black woman and seeing another black woman violated, and she wanted to throw her lawsuit out. And if it wasn't for Jeanette Taylor, that would have happened, because none of those black men in city council and none of those other black women down there was speaking up on behalf of that black woman that was violated. So that right there, that put it over the top. Black women were very dissatisfied after that, because, you think I could be sitting as mayor and see my sister violated like that, and I refuse to take action against these officers? Action don't get took for nearly a year later.
Erica,
come on now.
You know what that was?
You can't.
Erica, you know what that was? That was, instead of doing what was morally right, she made a business decision. She tried to protect the interests of the city, save them money, because she knew that was a lawsuit. That's all what that was. And see, and that's what a lot of people do on these jobs. When you see these jobs doing wrong, doing people wrong, and you don't say that, you don't speak out, when they fire you later on in the year, that's you get what you deserve. Sometimes you got to stand on your morals. You got to. You can't make some business decisions is not morally right. And you can't, and that's one of why people on drugs and alcohol, because they know they should have spoke up and said something. And that was dead wrong how Lori Lightfoot handled it. And I agree with you, Sister Erica. But listen, as Lori being a woman.
And on top of that,
yeah.
Right. And on top of that, when she tried to close Trinity Hospital in the middle of COVID, when all the Black people were dying, we were dying the most. And you would do that. And then she made a makeshift hospital over at McCormick Place. They spent millions, if not billions of dollars to do that. And only 10 people were seen over there. But here you want to close down a hospital that Black people are being seen 24/7 in the middle of a pandemic. See, Lori showed us she didn't care about her.
Right.
Even with the mandates to stay in your house. She went running up on our little young Black boys on the basketball court. She didn't go on the lake to them white people that was up there jogging and skateboarding and all of that. She said she rolled by them and seen them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. See, she did not respect the Black community, and that is why Lori got out of it.
Yeah.
God removed Lori.
Yeah. Let me see. I want to say this too. Listen, I need somebody. I need some white person or some police officer. Show me where Brandon Johnson said that he was going to defund the police. Show me where he said that at. They're using that as a deflection. He did not say that at all. I need some police officer.
We didn't say that.
I need something white person, because see, that's what the white people riding on. He said he gonna defund the police. That's what they riding on. He did not say that. They playing politics.
He said he's going to take $150 million of the budget and hire 200 more detectives to solve crime. But that's not defunding the police. It's actually just allocating it to
Thank you. Thank you. There's a difference between allocating.
And he also said, but he also said that he was going to use some money to bring work, people that can help with mental health crisis instead of putting that on the police.
Right. That makes sense.
I did hear
that comes from TIP funds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? See, there's so many funds.
Yeah.
I just seen,
but police don't need to be responding to mental health crisis.
No.
They don't need to be responding. Unless it's violent, of course, if they got a gun or something like that. But I'm just saying that's how stuff escalates.
Mm-hmm.
True. But one thing in that, I kind of worry, but at the same time, it's something that can also be resolved in there, because when you're talking about the social worker or the social worker professionals showing up to these mental home issues or 911 calls, you know what I'm saying? I believe that behind that, maybe police presence maybe shouldn't be at the door, but be outside for some facts, because some of the mental issues turn into violence. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want unless that professional social worker is licensed to carry and defend themselves and bring that same protection. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put nobody in that harm's way. But I totally believe that it's something different. Like I agree, to do something different and not just police,
right?
But also, you know what I'm saying, allow those that's professionals in the community to be able to be engaged and look at the ones that should be the ones that's showing up.
Real.
You know what I'm saying? The ones that's on the back.
Let me say this, brother, and we got to end it in a little bit. We got to end it because it's 2 hours. Now, I went on a crime scene like 3 weeks ago. It was a young African and Black male. He had a butcher knife over there on 74th and Coles. A lot of y'all probably seen that video. Big, tall kitchen butcher knife. And y'all, everybody know that young boy was having a mental episode. Police surrounded me. Mm-hmm. But I want to say this. If we had not have been out there in numbers, when I say we Black people, one of them white officers would have gunned him down, and it would have been justified in that order.
Yeah.
They sure would have.
I'm telling you.
They sure
See, listen,
would've.
see, these white officers, and yeah, I said it, they are not trying to pray with us, and they, in other words, they're gonna shoot first. They're gonna shoot first, then ask questions later.
Ask questions later.
If they can justify shooting, and most of the time they can't. Now they're showing us they can shoot somebody on camera and still get away with it. That's what they're showing now. You see it all around the country. Now, they showing us now.
Yeah.
The cameras don't mean nothing. They ain't stopping them. It's not gonna stop them. It's not gonna stop them. They shooting people on camera, killing people on camera, and still getting away with it. People, I gotta leave it right there. We've been on here 2 hours, and nothing. Let me throw another fact out there. Chicago police officers have the highest rate of suicide in the country. They need mental health as well too. There's a lot going on in the department, and as like Brandon Johnson say, this is a tale of two cities: the haves and the have-nots. And I believe, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And as y'all see, I wasn't biased today.
All right, good night.
Good night. Thank y'all. This is live, uncut. Y'all already know what it is.
You already know what it is.
What is it?
Live, uncut, unedited.
This is where we
Tell the truth
and what?
and shame the devil.
Don't you forget.
I love being black.
I do. What about you?
I love being black.
Good night. Peace out.